Hello students, myself Vijayalakshmi Sadlapur, Senior Grade Lecturer, Government Polytechnic Vijaypur, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Well students, in the previous unit, we have gone through some of the simple programs wherein the execution of your program or the statements was done sequentially. Now in this unit 2, we will be going through some decision making statements or the control structures of your C programming. So now in this session, I'll take one part, the first part, that is the if statements related to your control structure. So this is the control content flow. We will be going through the conditional branching statements, which is if statement. So here we'll be going through the if else, nested if, and the if else ladder. So now the control structure or the decision making statements can be broadly classified as what? Branching and looping statements. Under the branching statements, you have the conditional statements and the unconditional statements. For this session, we will be covering the if statements. In the next, we will go through the switch. Okay. Then in the branching, we have the unconditional branching, wherein we have break, continue, and go to. Under looping statements, we have again entry controlled and exit controlled. Under the entry controlled looping statements, we study the for loop and the while loop. Under the exit controlled looping statements, we go through the do while loop. So for this session, we are covering the if statements. This is just the list I have mentioned here, which you can go through. This is all the decision or the control making statements. Okay. So here we can see that you're having the if else, nested if, and ladder and switch. These all up to if statement to the switch statement. These are all the branching, conditional branching statements. Break, continue, and go to, these come under the unconditional branching. For, while, and do while, they come under the looping statements. Now we'll start with the actual topic, that is the if statement. First, we will go through the simple if statement. So what actually is the if statement? So if statement is a two-way decision making statement. Okay. So if you just quote an example here, say I have just taken some simple example. I can say if the room is dark, then put on the lights. Okay, what's the condition here? You put on the lights if the room is dark. You can just see the second example. If code is 1, then the person is male. Usually when we are filling up the forms, we fill M, F, isn't it, for mentioning the gender. So here, if the code is 1, or you can say if the code is M, the person is male. The same way, based upon your age, if the age is more than 60, then I say that the person should be retired person. Okay. So this is just some of the simple examples where you can say the application of the if can be taken. Okay. Now, this is the general syntax here. If the test expression. Okay. So this, based upon this test expression, we take the decision. If the text expression, if it is true, then it enters this particular statement block related to your if statement. If this test expression comes out to be false, then it doesn't enter to the statement block. It directly comes out and goes to the next statement. This can be more better understood by going through this flowchart. So here is a test expression. If we just see this previous example, if the room is dark is nothing but the test expression. Okay. Then what we should do, the statement block is put on the lights. So the same thing here, in under this test expression, I can write if the room is dark. Okay. Then yes, if it is dark, then I can say that you go for owning the lights. Okay. Else what we'll do, we execute the other statement other than the statement block. Okay. Here just a simple example. I am here comparing two numbers A and B. Okay. Here we are comparing two numbers A and B. So if A is greater than B, then I have to say the largest number is A. Okay. So if you just say here, so here if I say if A is, I'll just take an example, A is equal to 2, and I'll take b is equal to 1. Okay, so what is the condition we are having? If a is greater than b. Okay, if a is greater than b. So is this condition true here? Yes, this condition is this condition true here? A is greater than b. Is it greater than, is it true? Yes, it is true. So here it is true. Okay, then what we will say? We say that greater number is, we can say that greater number is A, isn't it? So in the same way, now if I just take another example, if I say A is equal to 3, okay, and I'll say B is equal to 6. So now, again, if I just check the condition, is A greater than B? So what is the condition here? Is it true or false? Yes, it is false, isn't it? Here, A is not greater than B, it is false. So then what will happen? Here, we will have to say that greater number is B, isn't it? So the same way here, if A is greater than B, then we are saying the largest number, I just took there as a greater number, the largest number is A. Else what we have to say here, if A is not greater than B, that is if B is greater than A, then the largest number is B. So this is just a simple example in order to understand the if statement. Now here we are speaking about the test expression. Okay, so what should be this test expression? How can we select the test expression? See here, the text expression can be relational operators or the logical operators or also the conditional operators. Okay, so this again turns out to be the ternary operator, which we will not emphasize here. We will just go through the relational operators or the logical operators. So your test expressions, whatever you are writing, it can be either relational or logical. We have already studied what is this relational operator and the logical operator in the previous chapter itself. I hope you are having the idea. So here, these are some of the relational operators which can be used. X is equal to y, x not equal to y, x less than y, x greater than y, x is less than or equal to y, x is greater than or equal to y. Okay. So the logical operators, the logical operators which we use is what? And operator, or operator, and a not operator. Okay. So here, when we use this logical operators is whenever the tested value within whenever it falls in the within a particular range, okay, then we go for this logical operators. And also whenever we want to test for the more number of conditions, then again we use the logical operators. Okay, so here if statement ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? if statement ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅಥವಾ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್. ಈ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದು ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ. Okay, A greater than B ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, if it is the condition which I have taken here just now, if A is greater than B, ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ? ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Here we will say that the largest number is A. Otherwise, what will have? The largest number is B. This is how it is going to work. Your if statement is going to work here. Okay, so now test expression ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು? ನಾವು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಯಾವುದು? ರಿಲೇಷನಲ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಸನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್, ದೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೇರ್ ರಿಲೇಷನಲ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Now the next version or the if statement which we use is the if else statement. Illi what we are using here, we use a two-way decision. Here we go for the two-way decision. That is, if the text expression is true, it has to go through the true block. If the text expression is false, it has to go through the false block. So here it is a two-way decision making statement. Okay. So here it is more clear to you. So what is happening here? The text expression, we have the text expression. So if this text expression is coming out to be true, then it is going to execute a particular true block statement. If it is coming out to be false, if it comes out to be false, then it is going to execute the false statement. Okay, so if else statement is such that it is going for the two-way decision. If true, it takes one decision. If it is false, it takes the another decision. The same previous example I can explain here. Just now the example which we took in the example was previous slide was what? If A is greater than B. Again the same example I am quoting here. So if A is greater than B, then A is the largest number. Else, see here we are using the else. Else B is the largest number. Okay, so this is how we are going to have the same example by taking the two blocks. That is a true block and also the false block. Next is the nested if-else statement. Okay, in the nested if-else statement, we go for whenever we have to introduce the if-else statement inside the another if statement. Okay, so that is nothing but the nested if-else statement. So you can just observe here, if test condition 1, if this is true, then it is going to check the another condition. So here what we are doing, we are checking two conditions. If this is true, then again go for the second condition. Okay, then next, if the second is also true, then you are going to execute the statement 1. If the first is true and second is false, then we are going to execute the second expression. Okay, I hope this is clear. This will be more clear with this flow chart here. If the test condition 1, okay, if it is true, then it is going to the test condition 2. Okay, so again if it is true, then it is going to execute the statement 1. Okay, now you see one more interesting fact here. If it is true, test condition is 1 is true, okay, and the second is false. Okay, the second is false. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಇದೆ, ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಬಂದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 1 ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ 1 ಟ್ರೂ ಇದ್ದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ 2 ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ವಿ ಸೇ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ nested if-else statement. Okay, so what we are doing here, along with one condition, I am again taking the one more condition. So then it becomes was nested if-else statement. So now if in this flow chart, if I just want to complete this flow chart here, now this test condition 1 is if it is false. Okay, if it goes to be false, then it executes the third statement and it comes out. Okay, so this is how your nested if-else works. Now the same example here again, instead of taking it as A and B, okay, instead of taking it as A and B, I have just taken it as N1 and N2. Okay, so enter the numbers. Here you just see here two things. In the first condition, okay, so here the condition 1, what I am doing here, if N1 is greater than or equal to N2, I have mentioned two things here. If N1 is greater than or equal to N2, it enters, if yes, then it enters the loop. Then again, I'll check only one condition now. I'll check this first condition. Okay. If N1 is greater than N2, then say that what? N1 is greater than N2. Else, what can be the other condition? If it is not greater than, what will be the another condition? The other condition will be what? It will be obviously equal to. That is what we have mentioned here. I mentioned the second condition is what? Equal to. So here if it is greater than N2, then you are going to print this. Else you are saying that it is equal. Okay, now if both are not true, see, if you just see this statement here, what I have taken here, I have taken N1 is, if N1 is greater than or equal to N2, I have taken here N1 is greater than or equal to N2. So if this is a condition, so now here if it is greater, then it goes here, and if it is equal to, then it is coming here. What is the remaining here? If it is less, if it is not greater and if it is not equal, then obviously it will be lesser. So then it is going to execute the third statement. So you can just see here else, else print N1 is less than N2. So this is again, so what I have done here, in order to explain you all the if and if else and the nested if else, I have taken the same examples of the greater than. Okay, that is if A is greater than B. With the same example, I have here explained how we are able to write the same problem for the all the three control structures, that is if else and the nested else, nested if else. Okay, so this is the examples what we have gone through. Then again the multi-way branching, that is the else if ladder. It is nothing but a multi-way branching statement. So here if the condition 1 is true, see it's very interesting here. If the condition 1 is true, then it is going to execute this statement, particular statement, and directly it comes out. Okay, it comes out. It is not going for the any other things. Now if this is not true, then it checks the second condition. If second condition is true, then it is going to execute the second statement. After execution, it is not going to go further, it directly comes out. Okay, so like this is going to continue for any n number of statements. And also you can here mention the default statement. If all these statements are not true, okay, if all these statements are not true, then I can go for a default statement. Okay, the same thing here. See, we are entering if the condition 1 is true, then it is going to execute the statement 1, comes out. Okay, then if the condition 1 is, if it is false, okay, what happens if it is false? Then it is going to check the condition number 2. Again, if it is true, it executes the second statement, comes out. If it is false, again it is going to check the next statement. Okay, so this continues. So this is nothing but what? It is the else if ladder. Okay, what we are using here, see the word, it is else if. The keyword we are using here is else if. See, in the previous example what we have used, we have only used else. Okay, it is if else. Okay, now what we are using it here as else if. Okay, just keep this thing in your mind. Now for this I have taken a different example about the result. Okay, so if the result is greater than or equal to 75, okay, then you have to print grade A and you have to just come out. Okay, no need to go for the others. Else if it is not so, else if the result is greater than or equal to 60, then you are going to say it is a grade B and again you are going to come out of your loop. Else if the result is greater than or equal to 45, then grade C, just come out. Then else, what is this else? What we are writing here? This is your default. So this is your default statement. So in this default statement, we are taking that else printf failed. If all these three above conditions are not there, then we have to say the default condition that it has been failed. Okay, so this is the example what we are having. So what we have seen till now in this session is we have gone through the different if statements. The first statement what we have gone through is a simple if statement. Then we went for the if else statement. Then we went for the nested and the else if statement. Okay, so we'll just see here. I am going to say some important facts related to your if statement. Here, if condition, what we are observing here is we don't put any of the semicolon. If I put the semicolon here, then this if condition, this if statement will get terminated. It doesn't go for the next block. Okay, so this is one thing you have to remember. So if condition, then you do this in the sense here some particular block is to be executed. And what we are observing here, we are not going for any of the braces. See, these are the braces what we have put here. But here in this example, we are not putting any of the braces. It means that if you have only one single statement related to your if, then there is no necessity of your flower brackets. Okay. Then the second form is what? If condition, do this and this and this and this, so on. Okay. So what we are doing here, under this if condition, we have n number of statements in the statement block. Then we need to have the flower brackets. I hope this is clear. First thing is what? You are not going to use the semicolon. Okay. You are not going to use the semicolon in front of your if or the else statements. If you use this, then your if conditions will be terminated. Okay. Then If you have only a single statement, then there is no necessity of going through your braces. If you have multiple statements, only then you go for the option of a braces. Then you can just see the third form. If condition, do this, else do this. This is a simple if else statement, and here again you are observing that there are a single statements in your statement block, so we are not putting any of the braces here. Okay, the same way here for the same if else you have multiple number of statements, so that's why we are going to put the braces here for both if and else. Okay, then next, well students, just go through this one. What type of the if statement it is? Yes, what we have is if, else. Under this again else, again I have the if else. Okay, so this forms to be what type of a statement? This forms to be a, yes, it's a nested if else statement. So here if this condition, then you perform this else. If condition, again under the else we have the if and else. So this is nothing but the nested statement. Okay, so this is again one of the form of the nested statement itself, wherein we are just, I am showing this form just to give the emphasis of how you use your flower brackets. Okay, so this is all about the details of your if statements. So students, what we have studied is, as I said, you have gone through the simple if statement, if else, nested if else, and the ladder, that is a else if statement. So based upon this, we can just solve some of the simple examples here. That is your assessments. Okay students, just go through this program. Here I have declared A is equal to 300. I have initialized the value of A to be 300. B and C, these are the three variables which we have declared. Amongst these three variables, I have already initialized the value of the variable A to be 300. Next, I am writing the if statement. If A is greater than or equal to 400, then B is equal to 300, C is equal to 200, printf, okay, printf B and C. So just think over this example. What can be the output? See students, in order to understand this, just you have to see about the forms of if, which I have already explained. Okay, what can be the answer here? What is the answer? See here, if A is greater than or equal to 400, what is the initialization I have done here? I have initialized A to be equal to 300, isn't it? I have initialized A equal to 300, but what is the condition I am putting here? What is the test expression? A is greater than or equal to 400 is my test expression. So, is this condition true or false? Whether this condition is true or false. Okay. What is the condition here? Whether this condition is true or false, the condition is what? A is equal to 300. 300 is not greater than or equal to 400. So, the condition is here false. So, once the condition is false, will it go to the next statement? No, doesn't go to the next statement. It directly executes C is equal to 200. So, what will be your answer? We are going to print here B and C, but the B is not getting printed. We just directly print here the value of C. So, your output will be what? 200. Okay. The same way, one more example, very interesting example. The same example here I am taking. See, here I have initialized A is equal to 500. And now the condition is if A is greater than or equal to 400. So, 500 is greater than or equal to 400. So, the condition is true. So, once the condition is true, yes, it goes to the next statement. Okay. So, here B is equal to 300. And after executing this, again it goes to the next statement where C is equal to 200 and it is printing both the values. So, what will be the output now? Yes, the output will be 300 and 200. Okay. Next example. Just see the very interesting examples these are. Here I have initialized two variables x and y. I have initialized x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 20. Now the condition is what? If x is equal to y, semicolon, printf x and y. Okay, so this is my problem. What can be the output? Yes, any answers? Sorry. So here, what I said is, once you put the semicolon in front of your if statement, the if statement gets terminated. Okay, this gets terminated. So it's not executing. It means that here we don't have any further statements to be executed related to your if. Now if I just check this one, if x is equal to y, this is what operator, relational operator, which comes out to be what? False. Okay, if you are not observing this semicolon properly, then you say that there will be no output for this, isn't it? But though it is false, it gets terminated here itself. Here itself it gets terminated. Here itself it gets terminated. So that's why as it gets terminated due to this presence of the semicolon, okay, though it is false, it is going to execute the next statement, and here it is going to print the value of x and y. So here we will have the output as what? 10 and 20. So this is 10 and 20 is your output. Now here you can just see this interesting example. If x is equal to 3, printf x, else print y. What can be the output now? See, here again we have a relational operator. X is assigned the value of 3. Yes, here if x is equal to 3, so this condition becomes true, and we are going to execute this. Then we go for the, under this else, do we go for this else? We don't go for the else because this condition is true. We don't, no need to go for the else. We directly come out, and we are going to again print the y statement. See, main thing in this example you have to observe is this print is not under the else, because as we are using the semicolon in front of the else, this else statement gets terminated here itself, and the next statement after the if is what? Print y. So we are going to print both x and y. I hope this is understood. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಎಕ್ಸನ್ನು 3 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3 ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3 ಅಂದರೆ ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಟ್ರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಟ್ರೂ ಆಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ರೀ, ಎಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ಈ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is not under the else statement. It is a independent statement. Okay, because the else gets terminated because of this semicolon. This is an independent statement. So we are going to print here y also. Okay. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 3 and 5. Okay. Yes. Just observe this and you just see if any errors are there. Okay. Float a is equal to 2.34. B is 5.43. If A is equal to B, then print A and B are equal. See, here we have to use a relational operator, isn't it? So, though we have not used the relational operator, so the output will not be there. But the use of this equal to, that is the assignment operator, will not show you any of the errors. Okay, it's not going to show it as an error. Okay. So here in this program we don't have any errors. Now this is a multiple choice question what we have. An if or else if statement accepts dash as input before branching. What is the input it is taking before branching? Yes, sorry, it takes a true or false. As already I said, it is going to take it as either true or false. So true or false, that is 1 or a 0 value. So here true or false in the sense it is a boolean. So it is going to accept a boolean as an input before branching. So here what we have to observe is what will be the output of the following program, whether it is true, false, error or none. Just go through this program. Here I have assigned the value of x is equal to 10. If x is equal to 10, sorry, here I have assigned x is equal to 22. If x is equal to 10, then we have to print that it is true, else print that it is false. What can be the output here? The options given to you is what? True, false, error and none. Okay. So if you just analyze this program, I have assigned a value. ನಾನೀಗ x ನ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ 22 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ here what we are doing, instead of using the relational operator, again I have used the assignment operator. ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ assignment operator ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ assignment operator ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, this is a variable. ಸೊ ಇದು ನ್ಯೂ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. x is equal to 10. Yes, it is true. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಈಗ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇನು ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಟ್ರೂನೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಟ್ರೂ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್. ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಇನ್ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಇದೆ? ಸಿ, ಇಫ್ ಎ, if character of a, if function of a, illela enide, we are going to put the expression. But here in this I cannot use one more if as a test expression. If nalli innond if na test expression anta heli tagolikke agudilla, we cannot take it. So that's why your invalid if statement is what? It is a is invalid. Okay, so this is all about some of the interesting examples related to your if, that is a conditional branching statements of your if. Okay, so this is our team. We are working on the content development of your C programming lab. Thank you.